In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on December 6, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Western Kentucky versus Jacksonville State. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, with a season record of 8-4 and 6-2 in Conference USA play, will vie for their 3rd Conference USA championship when they face the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, who boast an 8-4 record overall and 7-1 in conference play. This highly anticipated showdown will take place Friday night at First Stadium. Western Kentucky enters the game riding the momentum of a narrow 19-17 victory over Jacksonville State in their previous meeting, where they were slight 1.5-point favorites. Over their recent history, the teams have split their 2 matchups, with Jacksonville State emerging victorious in last season's encounter 20-17. Jacksonville State enters this championship clash in strong form, having won 7 of their last 8 contests. In contrast, Western Kentucky has had mixed results on the road, splitting their 6 away games this season. The Gamecocks have a clear advantage in their ground-oriented offensive strategy, which emphasizes ball control and a relentless rushing attack. Averaging over 250 rushing yards per game, they rank among the nation's elite in this category. This strength aligns well against the Hilltoppers' vulnerable run defense, which allowed over 220 rushing yards on 5.3 yards per carry in their last encounter. While Jacksonville State primarily relies on the ground game, they have shown the capability to exploit passing opportunities against teams like Western Kentucky, which has struggled against proficient passing offenses. Expect standout quarterback Zion Webb or Logan Smothers, with support from Malik Jackson and others, to have a significant impact. Western Kentucky's offense revolves around a potent passing attack, compensating for a less effective ground game. They found success through the air against Jacksonville State in their initial meeting, but the Gamecocks typically defend the pass well, holding opponents to under 225 passing yards per game. Jacksonville State is likely to make adjustments to mitigate Western Kentucky's aerial threat, potentially limiting the Hilltoppers' ability to replicate their prior success. Last week's game between these 2 teams ended in a hard-fought 19-17 victory for Western Kentucky, but this rematch takes place on Jacksonville State's home turf. The Gamecocks secured 1st place in the Conference USA standings and have demonstrated consistent dominance in their rushing attack throughout the season. Although Western Kentucky possesses a dynamic passing game, recent struggles, including 2 losses in their last 3 games, raise concerns. Playing back-to-back games against the same opponent can be challenging, but Jacksonville State's overall consistency, coupled with their ability to control the game on the ground, gives them a decisive edge. It seems unlikely that the Hilltoppers will contain Jacksonville State's rushing offense in consecutive games. While Western Kentucky can draw confidence from their victory last week, their losses to Liberty and Louisiana Tech highlight the inconsistency of their offense, which has struggled to find rhythm in key moments. On the other hand, Jacksonville State has been more reliable throughout the season, boasting a 5-1 record at home, a top 5 rushing offense, and a top 20 scoring offense. For these reasons, the Jacksonville State Gamecocks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. From a betting perspective, the point total is a critical factor to consider. Western Kentucky has seen the total go under in 2 of their last 3 games, while Jacksonville State has gone under the total in each of their last 2 outings. The Hilltoppers average 27 points per game but have struggled offensively in recent weeks, scoring just 16 points per game over their last 3 contests. Although their passing attack ranks 26th nationally, they are up against a Jacksonville State defense that is 67th against the pass and recently held them to just 19 points. Jacksonville State's offense averages an impressive 35 points per game, primarily driven by their 4th-ranked rushing attack. They face a Western Kentucky defense ranked 121st against the run and allowing 22 points per game. Despite these offensive strengths, both teams' defenses have been solid throughout the season, and the high projected total of 57.5 points seems overly optimistic. Their previous game combined for just 36 points, and both teams have a history of playing in lower scoring contests. Western Kentucky has allowed more than 21 points only twice since Week 1 and has stayed under the 57.5 point total in 4 of their last 6 games. Meanwhile, Jacksonville State's preference for running the ball and controlling the clock further reduces the potential for a high-scoring affair. Considering the team's tendencies and defensive capabilities, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Tulane versus Army. It's shaping up to be a frigid contest as temperatures are expected to hover around 20 degrees when number 24 Army hosts Tulane for the American Athletic Conference Championship game at West Point. Both teams are in pursuit of conference glory, though their dreams of making the college football playoff fell short. Tulane's hopes of earning a CFP berth were dashed on Thanksgiving night in a hard-fought loss to Memphis. Meanwhile, Army's sole defeat to Notre Dame has kept them out of contention in the Mountain West. With one regular season game still on the horizon, their storied annual matchup against Navy, the Black Knights aim to secure a conference championship before shifting focus to their traditional rivalry. For Tulane, this game marks their 4th conference title appearance in 7 seasons, underscoring their sustained success. The two programs meet for the 23rd time, with Tulane holding a 13-9-1 series lead. The Green Wave has dominated recent matchups, winning the last 4 meetings, while Army's most recent victory came back in 2011. Tulane's defense faces significant concerns, especially now that they return to hostile road conditions. During their loss to Memphis, the Green Wave allowed a staggering 236 rushing yards, and their struggles against strong running teams have been more pronounced on the road. With an average of 4.2 yards per carry allowed, Tulane's defense might struggle to contain Army's potent offense, which excels in the run game. On the other side of the ball, Army's defense has been a force against the run, while Tulane's offense can rely on its passing game. The Black Knights have been the best in the American Athletic Conference at intercepting passes, creating a challenging scenario for the Green Wave. The freezing temperatures could further hinder Tulane's ability to adjust and execute, particularly if they cannot effectively stop Army's clock-controlling ground attack. Tulane may be the more balanced team overall, and they've been highly reliable for bettors with an impressive 9-3 record against the spread this season. However, the betting line for this game feels dismissive of Army's strength, especially given their performance at home. With just one loss all season, the Black Knights combine an elite running game with one of the conference's top defenses. Army has covered the spread in 3 of their last 4 games as underdogs, with all 3 resulting in outright wins. The notion of Army as underdogs in this matchup seems misguided. Factoring in their home field advantage and physicality, the Army Black Knights to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Army's triple option offense is specifically designed to dominate time of possession and shorten games. Senior quarterback Bryson Daly and running back Ken Ayudo lead a methodical attack that thrives on extended drives. This approach limits possessions for both teams, often leading to low-scoring contests. With the cold weather further complicating passing opportunities, Army is likely to stick with its ground and pound strategy. While Tulane's defense has been solid for most of the season, including a front 7 skilled at limiting big plays, their struggles against Memphis indicate vulnerabilities that Army could exploit. Tulane will likely focus on stopping the Black Knights' rushing attack and forcing them into challenging third-down situations. Despite their recent lapse, Tulane's ability to keep opponents out of the end zone has been key to their success, and they'll aim to frustrate Army's offense by tightening up in critical situations. Defensively, Army has been exceptional, led by All-American Athletic Conference safety Max Domenico. The Black Knights excel at disrupting dynamic offenses with their disciplined, assignment-based football. Against a balanced Tulane offense, Army's defensive unit will prioritize gap control and aim to pressure freshman quarterback Darian Mensah into costly mistakes. Both teams rely heavily on their rushing attacks, which will keep the clock moving and the game tempo slow. Each defense has proven capable of keeping the opposition out of the end zone on most drives, suggesting a hard-fought, low-scoring affair. Tulane's passing game is unlikely to find much success against an Army secondary that allowed the second fewest yards per attempt in the conference. Conversely, the Black Knights, who rarely pass the ball, will face Tulane's strong secondary whenever they do attempt to air it out. The result is likely to be a grinded-out battle dominated by ground games and defensive stands. A final score in the range of 20-17 or 21-20 seems realistic, making under the projected total our full game total pick. UNLV versus Boise State. Championship week's here, and this matchup is a standout event, offering not just the Mountain West Conference title, but also a historic opportunity to be the first Group of 5 representative in the college football playoff. The stakes couldn't be higher as the 10-2 UNLV Rebels travel to Albertson Stadium in Boise to challenge the 11-1 Broncos. These two programs are familiar adversaries, having faced off in last year's Mountain West Conference title game and meeting once again earlier this season, with Boise State claiming victory on both occasions. The Broncos have a perfect record in the series, holding 7 wins over the Rebels, a streak UNLV aims to break in this high-stakes showdown. This contest represents the pinnacle of the season for the Group of 5, as the victor is almost certain to secure the automatic berth into the college football playoff. Boise State, a program with a storied history and national recognition, enters as the favorite. However, UNLV has impressed throughout the season, especially during a recent stretch of games where they've dominated opponents. In contrast, Boise State has shown signs of vulnerability in the last month of conference play. The Rebels are riding a wave of momentum, while the Broncos aim to steady their ship in time for this critical matchup. Boise State enters the game with the goal of clinching a playoff spot but must contend with a determined UNLV squad. The team's earlier meeting this season was a closely fought battle, with Boise State securing a 29-24 road victory. That game was evenly matched, with Boise controlling the clock for the final 8 minutes to seal the win. The Broncos' sole loss this season was a narrow defeat to Oregon, but their recent performances have been less convincing. Meanwhile, the Rebels have strung together 3 consecutive wins by double-digit margins. Slowing down Boise's star running back, Ashton Jeanty, will be a top priority for UNLV if they hope to come out on top. While Boise State boasts the better running back in Jeanty, UNLV arguably has the edge at quarterback with Hajj Malik Williams. Williams' dynamic play gives the Rebels a higher offensive ceiling, and if he performs well, UNLV's chances significantly improve. The pressure is squarely on Boise State in this game, which could tilt the psychological advantage toward the Rebels. With that in mind, the UNLV Rebels to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The first encounter between these teams was tightly contested, with Boise State edging out a slight advantage in total yardage, but UNLV performing better in yards per play. The game featured several pivotal moments, including a turnover that set up a short Boise touchdown drive late in the contest. Boise's 4-for-4 success rate on 4th down extended drives and contributed directly to their scoring. Despite these factors, the game totaled only 53 points. Considering the current over-under is set at 59, that figure appears inflated given the strength of both defenses, particularly on early downs where both rank among the top 25 nationally in expected points added. In their first meeting, Jeanty was limited to a season-low 3.9 yards per carry, with his longest rush going for just 16 yards. While Jeanty was not fully healthy in that game, UNLV showed they have a defensive blueprint to neutralize him and shift the burden to Boise's quarterback, Maddox Madsen. On offense, the Rebels are led by Hajj Malik Williams, who has accounted for 26 touchdowns and over 2,500 yards this season. UNLV will likely focus on their ground game to mitigate Boise's ferocious pass rush, which is among the best in the nation at generating pressure. Both teams feature run-heavy offenses and stout run defenses, setting the stage for a low-scoring affair. The first matchup demonstrated both teams' ability to contain each other's key offensive weapons, and with temperatures expected to be in the low 30s, conditions further favor a slower, grinded-out game. Neither team needs to win with style points. Securing the victory alone is enough. As a result, both squads are likely to prioritize time of possession and methodical drives, which will limit scoring opportunities. Boise State has trended under in 3 of their last 4 games, with an average combined score of 43.66 in those contests. UNLV's recent games have also leaned under, with combined totals of 52 and 43. Earlier this season, these teams combined for 53 points under more favorable conditions. Given these factors, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.